Hello, everybody. This is Zemanon, coach of the Detroit Solgaleo, facing off against the Slovenia Slowbros and our good rival Maralt here in the LDL Evolution League Semifinals match. So, here's how it goes. The winner of this match moves on to the finals, right? And the two people in the finals, win or loss, move up to the Majors division next season. So, this match is more important to me than any other match we've had throughout the entire season. Because the goal, my goal is not to win. Obviously, it's nice, but my goal is to make it up to the Majors. So, facing off against Moralt, who we've already played against him twice. He was one of our division rivals. Some could make the argument I should have won our first matchup, and some could make the argument that Moralt should have won our second match. But we both, he won the first one 1-0, and I won the second one 1-0. So, literally, that's how tight it's been, and how our teams match up against each other. So, I'm pretty sure I went with the same 6 this time around. I think I went with the same 6, but I changed some things up, and you're going to find out for the worst. So I got rid of Recover on Celebi and put Nasty Plot, because I thought there were a lot of times that I'd be able to just, sweep with Celebi. Like, say I come in on a Spore from Mungus or something like that, and I'd be able, because he doesn't want to stay and take a Psychic, he switches out, I got a Nasty Plot up, I start doing some damage, whatever. Didn't work out for us. And then the Zeraora, I have Bulk Up. And this is another spot where I was like, okay, I might be able to switch it out, or if he's going to switch Togekiss out or something like that, I can Bulk Up. And I almost ran Outrage. I was talking with some friends, and they're like, oh, Outrage would be good against the Ampharos. And I was like, yeah, well, the last 2 times I played him, Ampharos wasn't really that big of a deal because I have 3 Ice-type moves with the Swampert, Pelipper, and Ludicolo, where I was like, I don't think I don't know if I necessarily need the Outrage. So I was like, if I bulk up, I can get to +1 Fire Punches into the Amoonguss are going to be doing a lot of damage, and I'm Lumberry on the Zeraora too. So in case he comes in on a Plasma Fist or something and tries to spore me, I'm Lum, so I don't have to worry about him sporing me. But you know what? Enough talking, because we should really get into this battle, because this is a 37-turn battle. Which, for most of you out there, maybe that's not a lot to you, but most of my matches have been between, 18 and 25 turns. They end up going pretty quickly. So, but Moralt is such a good player and so defensive, and his team is so bulky, and he has 2 Regenerator Pokemon in Audino and Amoonguss, excuse me, that it goes on for 37 turns, which is a really long time for me. Turn 1, he breaks out the Sunny Day Togekiss, which is an excellent call from him. I went for the Ice Beam here into the Togekiss for the super effective damage, which it actually does a pretty strong amount, and I learned that it's leftover, so I don't have to worry about Scarf, Air Slash, which I was worried about for 3 different matches, and he never brought the Scarf. So I was wasting a lot of my energy worrying about something that he never brought. But I come in the Zeraora. Here he either Roosted or Air Slash, so I thought Zeraora was a very free switch, which it turns out to be. It only did 30 damage because it was resisted. And now this is the first misplay. I knew he was going to switch out here. I should have knocked off this Donphan. This is such a flowchart move. Oh, okay, Zeraora comes in, I just bring in my Donphan. Should have knocked it off, because then I would have got rid of its item. So I gained absolutely no momentum out of that play, which is very, very disappointing. So I go into the Ludicolo because I expect him to knock off. And Ludicolo is our Z user this week. He's actually Icium Z for the Amoonguss, because I do not have a lot of answers for the Amoonguss if the Incineroar goes down. So now comes the Bronzong. Honestly, it didn't really matter what I clicked because the sun is up, so obviously the Scalds wouldn't have been doing that much, so just kind of a null turn. And I decide to reveal that I have Rain Dance, which shows that I'm not Assault Vest, meaning those Sludge Bombs from the Amoonguss are going to hurt a lot if he doesn't if he brings it in on me. But Bronzong actually goes for Trick Room, which this is terrible because now, because I'm super fast, that actually means I'm really slow. Bronzong's able to set up the Stealth Rocks here, so I think I just go for the Scald because it's the strongest move. I'm not really afraid of any attack Bronzong wants to go for against Ludicolo. So he decides to switch it out here into the Audino. Let me tell you, Audino's a problem in this matchup. He did not bring Audino in either of the first two matches. I get a burn, which is nice, I guess. And he reveals the leftovers. But so I did not expect Audino to come at all. I was not prepared for it. I'm like, well, I guess the best thing I can do is like a waterfall in the rain or something like that. It'd be really the only way I can hit it pretty well. And he shows up Protect, so he's going to start recovering up more of that HP every turn. But actually, I'm kind of fine at this point because he really is not taking advantage of his Trick Room at all. Like, it's just, you know, it was Bronzong who set up rocks, and then now the Audino who's done nothing. But now in comes the Togekiss here. And I decided to Giga Drain. That was a misplay on my end. I was being cheeky. I thought, well, Audino might just stay in here so I can get a little bit more HP back. So the rain stops, of course, which is a great timing on Maralt's end to know that rain would end. So the same turn that Trick Room ended, so now he is faster than me, and he can Air Slash and knock out the Ludicolo. I thought maybe there was a chance I could live if I was Assault Vest. Potentially, I guess I might have been able to. But we're down early here, 6-5 in the semifinals. Really needing to win this match so we can move on to the finals and move up to the majors for next season. But Incineroar is going to come in here and intimidate. I wasn't tilted or anything. He's been playing very well, but I've also been making some good calls at this point. Like I thought I've been playing pretty well, and the Air Slash does like nothing to me. So I decided to knock off to get rid of the leftovers, or whatever came in that slot would be enough, or I would knock off its item. So I'm actually going to switch out again into the Zeraora, expecting another Air Slash. But he goes for the Roost, so that was smart by him because now he's pretty much at full, he's pretty much at full HP. Obviously not fully. If he had the leftovers, it would be, but he's at like 97% or something like that. So I decided to double because I knew that the Togekiss, or I expected the Togekiss to switch out into the Donphan here. So I go into my Pelipper, and he does switch. So I'm pretty happy with that play. But he doesn't go into Donphan. Instead, he goes into the Amoonguss, which is, you know, I would have rather seen the Donphan so I could Scald it. He switches out the Amoonguss again into the Audino. So look, Audino's health is back up because of Regenerator. And I decided to defog. I don't know if this was better than going for Waterfall. Like, you know, to this day, I still don't know what the best play was. But I think it made sense to get rid of rocks because of my Incineroar being weak to them. And Incineroar was my best way of dealing with Amoonguss and the Bronzong. So again, I don't know if defog was the right play because I could have got some nice Scald or Waterfall damage out onto the Audino, but whatever. Here comes the Toxic, and you're going to see Toxic quite a lot in this match from Maralt's side. So unfortunately, our Mega Swampert gets Toxic the first turn it comes in. I'm not sure how many turns of Rain I have left at this point. I wasn't really counting too well, but I knew it was still up right now, and the Audino didn't want to take a Waterfall. So the Amoonguss comes into that slot, and I don't know if this is the turn I did go for a nice punch. I could have went for a Waterfall, but I might be getting ahead of myself. I guess we're about to find out. So Mega Swampert coming in and Stealth Rocking. That's right. I guess I learned from the last match against Beard. It was like, I need rocks up because his team is switching around so much. Togekiss is weak to rocks. You know, Audino will take a little bit every time. Like he has such a pivoting like defensive team that I didn't want him to switch for free. I wanted him to take rock damage. In comes the Incineroar, where I know I can live and attack. But he actually reveals Toxic on Amoonguss. So that's 2 Toxics so far on our team. You're gonna keep track of that. All right. He's slowly whittling us down by doing no damage and just toxicking us, which is You know, which is a very strong strategy because I don't have reliable forms of recovery, especially since Celebi. I dropped recover on this week, and I U-turned because I assumed Amoonguss was going to switch out. Didn't want to eat a Flare Blitz, so that was a nice play on my end to go out back into the Swampert. I believe Rain is still up for at least one more turn, so I'm going to Waterfall for the knockout here, just because I didn't want to deal with whatever Togekiss was gonna throw at us. So it's now 5-5, and this is really close. Like, you know, like how I said, Maralt won the first matchup 1-0. I won the second time 1-0. Like, we're really playing each other to the like very evenly here. I'm pretty proud of how our matchup has gone throughout the whole season with him. Now here he makes a great call. He switches out into he goes for Sludge Bomb. I thought he would Spore. The fact that he had Toxic should have revealed to me that he didn't have Spore this week. But we get poisoned on the Sludge Bomb. So not only, you know, egg on our face for a bad play, but he also gets rewarded with his third Toxic of the game. And this would have been a perfect turn to recover. Why did I get rid of recover when I put Nasty Plot? I can't even click Nasty Plot because I have no time since I'm Toxic. So my Psychic does literally no damage. I'm down to 30 HP with no form of recovery, and I have to switch it out. I decided to use Celebi as death fodder for later because I was like, that's what helped me win in week 9 against Maralt, was having Celebi around as death fodder, and it also gets natural cure, so it's not poisoned anymore. But remember, that's still three times I've been poisoned in this match. He goes for Trick Room as I set up the Rain again, and he sets up his Stealth Rocks now. So, like, you know, it makes sense. Obviously, my Incineroar is getting really low, and it's Toxic, so if he gets rid of it, there's not much I can do to the Amoonguss. But Bronzong goes down, so I'm feeling good. We're up 5-4 right now, but Trick Room is up. And then he brings in Audino under Trick Room with no real offensive pressure, except for this 4th Toxic that he lands in this match. So 3 Toxics, it's hard to say, and a Sludge Bomb poison are what we've gotten. Maybe I can get a Confusion? Nope, apparently not. That would have been really nice if he was confused here. But 4 of my Pokemon have been poisoned, and the one that hasn't... Alright, let's put it this way. 4 of my 5 remaining Pokemon are poisoned. Obviously, Celebi isn't anymore because it's Natural Cure or whatever. And the one that isn't is Zeraora, who has Lumberry. Like, the one Pokemon who would okay with a Toxic is the one who doesn't get status, of course. Just my luck. This is a misplay. I went for the Defog because I still valued it, but I needed just any amount of damage on the Ampharos that I can get here. You know, Scald in the Rain would have put him down to around, I think, 50% or even less. And I really needed that damage later on. Again, if I had Outrage on Zeraora, I wouldn't have to worry about it because I was gonna do like 90% to the Ampharos if I had Outrage, but I think it was like 79 to 90% or something. But he shows off Agility Ampharos, man. I was not ready for this. Agility Ampharos? As Trick Room expires. So again, a perfect turn from Maralt. He really has been playing this game incredibly well, and Incineroar has no chance of surviving that, so he's back to his ways of not activating his Pinch Berries when we need him the most. So out comes Zeraora. Oh, if I have Outrage, I kind of win, right? Nope. He agilities again, so he's +4. And I have to go for Close Combat, where a second Close Combat wouldn't even knock out at this point. Wow, I was just so distraught when he showed off on agility. And then because of the lower defenses, I lived a Dragon Pulse. I had enough HP to live one, but because I was -1, I don't live. And Zeraora goes down, being literally useless. Being the only Pokemon not getting poisoned here. And now I just sack off the Celebi because there's nothing I can do. So he's going to Dragon Pulse again, and I'm going to get freaking swept by agility Mega Ampharos. You know, like, It's the playoffs. You gotta do what you gotta do to you gotta pull out the hype sets in the playoffs, and Moralt definitely did that. So I decided to bring in Pelipper just to set up the rain again. I thought it made sense because now Swampert now has 7 turns to win the game. If I was Damprock, which I don't even remember at this point, like it's over. Like there's, I can try to be cute, whatever. It's over. There's nothing I can do here. I do go for the Ice Punch, obviously, though, because it would have knocked out Ampharos, and it hits the Amoonguss pretty well. Look at that! It does over 50% to him, and that's not even a crit. So this. A second Ice Punch knocks out the Amoonguss here. He must have been more specially defensive this week than previous weeks. He's going to switch out, though, into the Audino. I'm pretty sure I went for the Ice Punch here. I don't think a Waterfall knocks out. Yeah, because that was a crit. So, like, a Waterfall doesn't knock out, so that wasn't a misplay on my end. Like, there was nothing I can do, because now he's going to protect again to rack up the poison and also get rid of an additional turn of rain. No, he actually doesn't protect. He actually just goes for the Waterfall, or he just lets me knock him out with Waterfall, which is very interesting. So Audino's down, but he sends it out, and thanks to that gosh darn Regenerator ability, he's back up to a point where Ice Punch. I don't even know if an Ice Punch crit would knock out from that point. Maybe it could have. I'm not sure. But then at that point, if it did, then I knock out I one hit Donphan with Waterfall, and I'm faster than Ampharos. So I actually, depending on if I crit or not, which is of course not a reliable way to play this game, relying on a crit. If the crit did knock out the Ampharos, I think there was a pretty good chance we win that match. But unfortunately, we lose 3-0, which is this is our for a match that really went back and forth and was very close. It was 3-0, but I think it was just as close and action-packed as both of our 1-0 matches against Moralt this season. So the Detroit Solgaleo season comes to an end, unfortunately, here in the semifinals. But congratulations to Moralt for moving on to the finals. And then, of course, spoilers, since this happened like over a month ago at this point, Moralt ended up winning the LDL Evolution League. So he's moving up to the majors, had a nice win. So congratulations to Moralt. Really was a pleasure all season. He was very nice to me throughout the season. When we were playing each other, having chats and stuff. Excuse me. There was, I guess, ICMZ on Ludicolo really never came into play. I should have, in how our first match of the playoffs went, where I was like, I don't want to change anything because I had the right strategy. I should have stayed that way against Moralt, where I should have kept Recover on Celebi, and then I should have, I changed Bulk Up. I dropped Knockoff for Bulk Up, and I should have dropped it for Outrage. Some team building errors really cost us in this match. Like, if I had Recover, I would have been able to recover up all the damage from the Sludge Bomb as he switched out, and then Celebi would have been able to stick around longer. And then, of course, if I had Outrage, I could have just outraged the Ampharos, which would have been really nice. But I don't know. You live and you learn, I guess. Unfortunate, but we're going to be in the Evolution League again next season for Season 4 of the LDL. With that, I guess this is just wrapping up. I think if I just talk about the team for like a minute here, I'm overall pretty happy with how I performed. To be quite honest, I think I outperformed what my team was and what it should have been. I had 5 ground weaknesses on my team, with the only immunity being Pelipper, and the resistance I had was Celebi, who was 4 times weak to U-turn, which cost me a lot. Multiple weeks getting U-turn times 4 on things that was supposed to Earthquake, like Flygon, really cost me. And then I didn't even get Ludicolo to like week 8 or 9 or whatever, so I didn't have another ground resist for a very long time in this season. So I think that was poorly planned on my end. But like that was because I decided early some of the Pokemon I wanted, like Diancie and Zeraora and Incineroar and stuff, and they all are weak to ground. I also only had one Defogger in Pelipper and no Rapid Spins, so I really was not well equipped to get rid of rocks, considering I had some important Pokemon like Incineroar, who was really important with pivot and switching in on things. He was taking 25% all season for like no reason, and then the only way to get rid of it was my Pelipper, who's also weak to rocks. So I think that was poorly planned. But I was actually I'm really happy with how Pelipper and Swampert came out this season. At first I was really nervous and I thought I kind of got screwed over because I had to choose, I waited so long on my Mega that I was like, oh, whatever, I guess I'll take the Swampert and you bring it a couple times. But it was honestly my most important Pokemon. Like I think throughout all 12 weeks and the 2 playoff matches, like I think it got like 16 or 17 knockouts. Mega Swampert, and Swampert got all 3 in this matchup here. So like Swampert actually put in a lot of work. I'm pretty proud of how I played with him. Zeraora was a little underwhelming. It was kind of a victim of 4 move slot syndrome the entire season. Like weeks that I wanted Fake Out, I didn't have it. Weeks that I wanted Fire Punch, I didn't have it. Or I really could have used Outrage in this last matchup, but I just didn't have room for it. Knowing what item to use, if I go Life Orb or Expert Build or Shukaberry or Lumberry, like Zeraora was the best part about it was its huge 143 speed. It was able with speed creeping to like actually get pretty bulky. Like there were some matches like against Maralt, I think I had under 100 speed investment like on EVs, and I put the rest into attack and HP because my Zeraora was faster than so much of his team. Like his highest speed was like, I don't know, like just barely 100 or just over 100 or something. So I was able to put so much bulk into Zeraora, and that did help me. Like I've now learned about speed creeping because I'm still developing. I'm still new to draft leagues and everything like that. So I've learned more about speed creep and in EVing to live specific attacks and things like that. So I think I've definitely learned a lot from the LDL this season, and hopefully next season I can move up to the Majors division, because that would be nice. I think there's going to be one more season before Sword and Shield come out, so that would be nice to be in the Majors in time for Sword and Shield. That would be a lot of fun. But with that, the Detroit Solgaleo season has come to an end. I'd like to give a special shout out to my front office of Jake, Grant, and TJ for helping me out every week trying to figure out the best sets and whatnot. And thanks to some of the Majors division players like Lazy Ghost and Blazing Squid, who were very, very nice to me all season, very encouraging, and would help answer any questions I had and things like that. So it was nice to see guys in the Majors division being helpful to the Evolution League guys. So I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. This was probably the most fun, one of the more fun draft leagues that I've been a part of, and I can't wait. We're currently in like this fun off-season league that's like, I think it's like 7 weeks long, that has a mixture of Majors and Evo players in it. So I'm really excited to go up against some of the Majors division players. Let me know if you want those matches uploaded too. We just played our first match in that league, and let me tell you, our team is some heat. So you definitely want to see the team that we drafted in the off-season league, because it might be the worst team of all time, which actually makes it pretty great. But for now, this is Demonon signing off one last time for Season 3 of the Lonely Draft League Evolution League, and we'll see you next time.